I'd like it too.
Exactly. She won't be in the money room. She can't be in there. That's right. That's right. We need her. Yeah, we need her to be working so we can get that money. Right.
Taking a lower payment. The residual was for 48%. That's the drawing.
I remember hearing that. I don't remember seeing it. It's just the where's the thing at 10 o'clock?
Oh, I know.
This year I'm home. Probably watch
Hey, miss. How you doing?
Back up. Don't stuff it up.
That's why I said I picked about 7 of them.
Okay.
Sitting down there now. I think she's good.
Yeah, you got a seat. Okay.
All right.
On the side over there.
receptive to the thoughts and challenges that come to us through prayer, through the printed page, and from the world around us, and help our leaders to find the best solutions to the problems that we face. We ask this in your name, amen. Amen. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. Also pursuant to the 2013 Rules and Resolutions of the Board of Children Freeholders in the County of Burlington, time shall be set aside on the agenda for the receipt of public comments. Public comments will be received with respect to agenda items prior to board consideration of resolutions to be adopted. An additional opportunity for public comment will occur later in the meeting. Public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Unused time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons may speak once per public comment period. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting, this public announcement, and the advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Arter. Present. Freeholder Belgard. Here. Freeholder Howard. Here. Freeholder Schwartz. Here. And Freeholder Director Donald.
Here. Thank you, Mr. Drake.
Yeah, I see.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Let me begin by extending my special thanks to Mayor Malone and Commissioners Lynch and Wardonsky for hosting us this evening, as well as the residents of Burlington. Just to bring everyone up to date, earlier this year, we unveiled a transparency plan to better acquaint residents with the workings and programs, as well as the services of county government. One of the priorities of that plan was to take our meetings on the road. Burlington City is the third of 3 venues we have visited this year. So if this is your first Freeholder meeting, I offer a special welcome to you. If this is multiple Freeholder meetings, let me offer my condolences. I'm reminded that Burlington City isn't exactly a stone's throw from the county seat, but I assure you that we are sensitive to your needs, especially when administering county programs and services. Our recent repaving of Prince Street, I hope, underscores our interest and investment in Burlington. You're also home to a modern branch of our Burlington County Library, and the store owners in your attractive downtown are solid supporters of the county's Buy Local initiative. In fact, they were the early enrollees of the program, and quite frankly, the earliest champions of the program. I really should take a moment to dwell on your downtown, with all of its shops and eateries. I don't often use the word quaint, but it's the first word that comes to mind when talking about your streetscape. I hope the Buy Local program entices more visitors to take a look at Burlington City. The city has just received another infusion of county funds from our municipal recreation grant program, bringing your total to $510,000, which you've used toward a number of park improvement projects. It's gratifying to see those funds put to work back for the residents of our community here in Burlington City. We're very proud of our rec program. These grants have given literally all of our towns an opportunity to build or improve local parks, ball fields, trails, and other recreational facilities at a time when these improvements would likely be in low priority due to budgetary constraints. The county's recycling program, as you know, is preparing to go single stream in the spring of next year. That means that all recyclables, cans, bottles, paper, and cardboard will go in one container. We realize it would be difficult logistically for city residents to use the large carts, large blue carts. But you'll be able to use the buckets that you already have. Or to put it another way, when it comes to single stream, you will not be left behind. You too will experience the convenience of single stream recycling. Your recycling efforts do yield tax dollar savings for your towns. Last year, the city saved about $32,000 in landfill fees by recycling. You received a $7,500 tonnage grant from the state as well. Finally, I should give you the county's big fiscal picture. Our budget package for 2013 included general operations, open space, and the library system. It resulted in a $7.7 million reduction in county property taxes and a $15 million reduction in the regular operating budget. This is the 4th year in a row that the taxes collected by county government have been cut. That 4-year reduction totals $23 million. I'm particularly pleased with the reception received from my friend Mayor Malone when we asked about holding one of our meetings here. He is the Burlington City, of course, what George Washington was to Mount Vernon. But this really doesn't define the mayor, does it? His career in public service began here decades ago, and his dedication to the betterment of the community would qualify him for a Hall of Fame if he had one. Assemblyman Malone was a steadfast and outspoken guardian of the taxpaying treasury, right up until the day he retired from the legislature. The state of New Jersey's loss is now Burlington's gain. Finally, quite a few of our department heads are joining us this evening, so So if you have specific questions about county programs or services, they are here to serve. And again, I thank you for accommodating us and hope you find this evening informative. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of the regular public meeting of October 9th, 2013. Moved by Freeholder Howard. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Schwartz. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolution, minutes are adopted. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the conference meeting minutes of September 25th, 2013. So moved by Freeholder Howard. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Delapart. Any discussion? All in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Minutes are adopted. At this time, I'd like to turn the floor over to President Dave Hesby of Burlington County College. He's going to update the board and everyone here on a report for the college.
I think if I stand right here, everyone, the freeholders can see the screen, I'm hoping, and the audience can see the screen, because we're going to go through a quick PowerPoint presentation. Is that right? Am I in anyone's way? Excellent, very good. So how are we in the camera's way? I'm good. Oh, very good, very good. Somebody's going to be strategically located. Let me just thank the freeholders for this opportunity to come and discuss the college and where I think the college is heading and where we can partner with the county. I always see the county college as belonging to the county, and the county broadly, every neighborhood in the county, everyone in the county, we belong to you. We're your responsibility. We benefit you. And so we want to be able to serve every single person in the county. And coming today, I think, gives us a great opportunity to start doing that, making certain that you see what we're doing and you see, I think, the value in what we're doing. So with that said, we have a very finite number of goals at the county college. The first one is we want to be effective at what we do. Now, we have this unusual mission of all colleges in the state of New Jersey. We have an open access policy. We serve everyone who wants to get a degree or wants career training. We will serve you all, and that makes us unusual. We don't have a selective admission policy. We will take whoever comes to our door wanting that degree or wanting that career training, and we will give you whatever help you need to keep moving through our program. So we are open access, and that's our unusual mission. We are, I think, delivering in terms of effectiveness above average outcomes. If you look at all the community colleges in the state and you look at outcomes, and for us outcomes means completion. Do you graduate? Do you transfer? Do you come to the college and accomplish what you want to accomplish? And I think you'll see that we actually do have above average outcomes, and we're one of the most affordable places in the state. Matter of fact, if you look at all of the public colleges in the state, all the community colleges, state included, we're going to have the lowest tuition and fee structure. And that's important for our students, because a lot of our students are struggling to find a way to get that degree and get that training. For us to be in that lowest position, I think is very, very helpful. We're also trying to be efficient. And efficient, to me, is, to the best of our ability, moving dollars into academics and academic support. That's what efficiency means. And so you're going to see us developing a new organization structure that will allow us to do that. You'll see us pursuing some customized training and other what we call auxiliary functions that will allow us to bring in additional dollars to the college. And lastly, we have this customer-friendly and student-focused initiative underway. For example, doing little things like everyone in the college who's faculty or staff is now going to have an ID badge, so students know who you are. Students can come up to you and ask you questions about anything, and you'll be able to guide them and lead them on the way. And that's our goals for the coming year. If we accomplish these 4 things, we're very successful. As you know, we're well underway in order to do that. Our priority, of course, is student success. That's why we exist, to let our students accomplish what they set out to do. And so the first thing you're going to see is quality academic programs. And you're going to ask, well, doesn't every college say they offer quality academic programs? And you're right, every college says that. How do you guarantee that? Well, you do what we're doing. We're engaging folks to come in and do program reviews of some of our most vibrant programs. We're having people come in, looking at them, seeing if we're adhering to best practices, and are we, most importantly, articulated with the needs of the workforce. Now that's important because your students, when they come out of these programs, want to get a job. And if we're not articulated with the needs of employers, the ability for our students to get jobs is not good. So in order to be able to not only say you have quality academic programs, but prove it, you need to go through these performance reviews, and we're doing many, many of those as we speak. The next one is very important in the new world of education, because basically what our community college wants to be is a pipeline to careers. And that pipeline should start in high school and helping seniors and juniors not only start getting a taste of college level coursework, but letting them see where they can go with that coursework. And then of course on the other side of the community college, we want to be articulated well with four-year institutions where our students can go for bachelor's degrees and maybe even on to master's and doctoral work as well. And that's the type of career pipeline that I think is going to not only serve our students well, but serve the county well, because our students are your employees, employers' employees, and that means for a vibrant economy. Ensuring quality advising, effective developmental education are all ways to make certain that our students, when they start, complete. A lot of students, don't forget, we're open access, so students are going to come with all types of academic preparation stages. Some are going to be ready for college level work, others are not. But as an open access institution, we are dedicated to serving all of them, no matter where they may be along that spectrum. And so advising and developmental education become priorities. And these are tough things to accomplish well, because developmental education, there's a fine line between making certain that a student's prepared for program work and frustrating them to the point they don't want to continue. We don't want students to have to endure a 13th year of high school. We want them to see the program level work and succeed in that program level work. So it's more challenging than I think a lot of people understand to do that well. The last one is a pilot initiative we just launched this year. This is our first semester on looking at this. And what we're doing is we're treating incoming first-year students as a cohort. And we want to deliver within this cohort developmental work, but we also want to do motivational work. We want to provide some more intensive advising to this group. And we want to focus also on how do you navigate through the college. A lot of students get lost. It's very easy to get lost in higher ed. And a lot of us remember back to our college experience, it's really easy to get lost in higher ed. We want to try to give our first year students every opportunity to figure this out, and we're going to help them figure out how Burlington County College works. The next is, we're more than a college. We also very serious about serving our communities within the county. The first one we're referencing here is an initiative first in the state of New Jersey. I think actually might be the first in our region or first in the country, where we partnered with an organization called First Book. And what First Book does is arranges for thousands and thousands, 40,000 books in this case, to be delivered to the county, and the county college serves as the conduit to community groups who might want to be using these books. And many of them are textbooks that can be used very broadly by community groups into homes where the number of books not be where that parent or the student wanted to be. So we're going to make certain that we can distribute these 40,000 books to where they're most needed throughout the county. And I think this is one example of dozens and dozens where we're trying to take what the college offers and make certain it gets right into the neighborhoods as well. We also did Give Kids a Smile Day, where we had dentists come in and work with our dental hygienists and others in our allied health clinic, and we provided $50,000 worth of dental work. Literally hundreds of students came to our Give Kids a Smile Day. It's a wonderful day. We do a lot of good during that day. Our students learn a lot, and our dentists and dental professionals throughout the county can come and give back this way. It's always great to create those opportunities for folks in the county to come and give back. Trick or treat, just a little. We have safe trick or treat for our parents and children in the neighborhoods throughout the county. We're going to have that at the Parker Center. So a little, if you're interested, bring your children, grandchildren on out to safe trick or treat. It's on campus, very controlled environment where everyone can feel safe. Military friendly. We have a tremendous partnership with the Joint Base to serve the military families. And we actually have won a number of awards for serving military families. You can see some of those at the bottom of the slide here. A number of initiatives that we are pursuing this year, and Joe Malone was our former chairman, and these first few initiatives were all Joe Malone's ideas, along with our freeholders. Joe Donnelly was there as well. And tremendous numbers of military families that want to take advantage of this. The first one is providing in-county tuition rates wherever that active duty military person may go. And don't forget, they're being deployed constantly throughout the country, throughout the world for that matter. And often there's the thought, well, how can I continue my education? And one way we said that we could do this and announced last January is making certain that in-county tuition rates. The second one was understanding that military spouses often have difficulty in terms of working their own education. We came up with a scholarship program for them, and it's just, I think we've had 300 hits on our website from people interested in those scholarships. We're going to be constructing a new Veterans Center on the Pemberton campus, and I'll talk a little bit more about this when I get to our grant funds on the next slide. And as I said before, we're recognized by top military publications for the partnerships we have with the military. One of the most common misconceptions about community colleges is we don't have the student life, the residential life that other colleges have. Let me say that is a total fiction. We have a robust campus life on our campuses, all of them. We have 30 clubs and activities, 7 sports. And you probably read somewhat about some of our teams who did very well. Our women's softball team went to the national championship last year. Brought in Philip Phillips, who's American Idol winner. We had a wonderful African American History Month. And Frankenstein is our play this year. And I would urge you all to come out. It is a fabulous experience, and you should definitely, if you can, come out and see it on the Pemberton campus next 2 weeks. We were very fortunate last spring. We applied for a number of state competitive grants. So the state put out a competitive grant application, and we had some needs on campus. And one of the needs we had was for technology. And the type of technology I'm talking about is if you walk into a college campus with a smartphone or a tablet, you're going to immediately try to connect with that technology infrastructure of that college. It's totally different than the technology infrastructure that we planned for 10 years ago. And all colleges need to upgrade their technology in order to accommodate all of these new devices that are connecting with our network. As you walk through the door, you're connecting. It happens automatically. And so we have this need to upgrade our technology base to allow students to bring those tablets and smartphones, because we want them to use it for educational experiences. So we brought that up as one of our great needs. And we are putting in place this new technology as we get the grant funds in. I'll talk a little bit about that. Can you flip back, Greg? If you see here, our STEM enrollments are up 115%. That's going to impact our technology. Our bandwidth has tripled, our needs, and our Wi-Fi users are up 500%, 5 times what they were. Sorry, Greg. So 2 of the grants that we applied for are going to involve technology. The first one was our Next Generation Network. This is the one that's going to increase our bandwidth. Now, we had 30 days when the state put out the application for these grants to put in our application in to secure matching funding. And that's almost an impossible goal, but the county freeholders were tremendous. They saw this was a way for us to bring the college to a much better place technology-wise, and in a matter of days, secured matching funds for this. Without the county freeholders' help, we would have no shot at getting that grant. It's a competitive grant, so there's a lot of institutions looking for these dollars. The freeholders immediately gave us their commitment that we could have this matching funds, and we were successful in getting that competitive grant. Same thing with the next generation educational technology, but instead of improving the network, these bring educational technology into our classrooms, instructional technology, right into our classrooms and labs, and that's 1.4 million state funds that we're getting for those plans. We also received at the same time an award of $2.4 million, another competitive grant process from the state that's going to allow us to redesign the Parker Center around STEM and technology, STEM being science, technology, engineering, math. So we're going to redesign the Parker Center around that, that focus. We're going to bring all of the internet access and audio-visual into the classrooms and the labs. That's where we're going to establish that Veteran Center to help us serve the needs of veterans better. And also let me just recognize, again, the county for providing dollars to make certain that all our campuses, we have around $90 million of assets on those campuses, and they need to be maintained and refurbished, and the county's been very supportive of us to make certain that those assets remain vibrant. So let's get to the real bottom line here, and that's we have the lowest tuition and fees in the state. We're receiving a lot of support from the county to make certain it stays that way. And my favorite bullet is the last one there. What's our impact on the residents of the county? Well, this year alone, 5% of the county residents are taking some type of course at Burlington County College, which is an amazing impact throughout the county. If you look at our tuition and fees, as we said, we are the lowest county college in the state of New Jersey. We do very well in terms of our peers. If you look up to Mercer Community College, they're thousands of dollars more a year more than us. If you look down to Camden, we still are more competitive tuition and fee-wise than either one of our neighbors in terms of our tuition and fees. As you can see, the community college average is over $500 more than us. The state public averages some $9,000 more than our tuition and fees. You go to Publix, you're looking at around $19,000 more than us. And that's, I think, in a nutshell, why we're a successful college. Because we can accomplish all these things. We have above average completion rates. And that means, I think, that there's a lot of value happening in your communities. And I think the outcomes are good. I don't think you can see everything on this slide here, but our students go everywhere in terms of transfers. And often there's this fiction that students from community colleges aren't going to get into the top name higher ed institutions with their credits. That is, again, a fiction. Our students, there's at least 12, 15 really top-notch places that will take our students and all their credits. And our students actually have gone to Harvard and a number of the Ivies, the University of Pennsylvania, with their 2-year degree and with their credits. And it's just amazing to see where our students go. And here we have the international picture. So I think with that said, let me just remind everyone that spring enrollment is open, and we're planning for the spring, and don't hesitate. Come. You'll find something, I think, that interests you somewhere in our county college. So thank you for that opportunity. I tried to get through quickly. I know you have a fast agenda, but if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer it for you.
Well, President Espy, great job. And it is important, it's important for us in the county that we can provide a low-cost educational opportunity. And the thing that you said that touched home most of me is the fact that we're trying to make sure that we're in the workforce. And obviously, your outreach on the vocational is more important and very important. So, thank you.
Right, and as our relationships develop, I think with our vocational and special services district, I think we'll see more partnerships down that road. And I know Joe Malone is a big champion of that, and I'm sure he will help us, right, Joe?
I hope that gets called.
Will help us make that even more vibrant. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
At this time, we will have a presentation from Health. Chief Coleman, our department head.
It'll take a long day.
Good evening. My name is Eve Cull. I'm the director of the Burlington County Health Department. And this evening I'm going to our located at 15 Pioneer Boulevard. The health department
Let me help you with that.
and we recently revised our mission and vision. Let me share that with you. Our goal is really to educate, prevent, and protect through public health, and our vision is working together for a healthier tomorrow. Let me just tell you briefly about the health department as a whole. The health department does have Office of Administration and Public Health Nursing, Consumer Protection, actually, which consists of weights and measures, consumer protection, and then we also have disease prevention, and that consists actually of the animal shelter, communicable disease, and mosquito. Also, the health department also has the environmental health piece, which does consist of consumer health, housing, pollution, water, septic, and then the medical examiner's office is also falls under the health department. Then last but not least is planning and education, which consists of health education, WIC, and the medical reserve corps. Tonight I'm most specifically going to be speaking to you about the animal shelter of Burlington County. And at a later date, we look forward to coming back and sharing more information with the board about other departments. So this is basically an update on all the progress that we've been making over the years of the animal shelter. And the freeholders and past freeholders have always been so supportive of the animal shelter, so we really appreciate that. The goal of the health department and the animal shelter is really to act as the rabies control. That's our primary focus, and that's how come the animal shelter is a department. And there's a picture of the animal shelter there. Our main focus is to reunite pets with their owners in the event that they are lost. I think everybody here can recognize how important that would be. And those animals, for example, are brought into the facility by perhaps an animal control officer or a local neighbor and things of that nature. And then our other mission is to find homes for the animals who are surrendered to the shelter. For many reasons, people cannot or choose not to keep their pet, so our goal is then to find them a new home. We take in and care for both stray and surrendered animals, and for those of you who do not know that, we're the only animal shelter for Burlington County, so we're serving all 40 municipalities. The capacity of the shelter, once again, thanks to the Freeholder Board, has always been so supportive. Back in 2006, we were able to do a lovely addition and actually renovate the animal shelter, and that basically doubled the capacity for the animals. We have 99 dog kennels, and we do have the capacity in the weather permits in the summer, and we do have a need for 8 kennels outside if we absolutely need to use them. And then also we actually have 240 cat cages. Back then when we did the renovation, that actually improved or increased our capacity for cats by 250%. So why I'm here tonight, just wanted to give you a brief overview. We're really trying to work on becoming as close to no-kill as possible. And we've developed a task force back in the spring, and that task force would consist of many different community partners, our freeholders, our insureds, and the staff of the animal shelter. We also, it's very important to involve on staff as well that are in the animal shelter on a daily basis. And the purpose really was to evaluate the animal shelter, look at our numbers, our data, and determine the feasibility of how could we actually get more pets adopted out and become as close to no-kill as possible. We utilize this document that's called the No-Kill 101, and that is actually published by a national organization. We had an opportunity to send our shelter manager in partnership with the Friends of the Animal Shelter to a conference that actually gave them the ability to network with other no-kill shelters throughout the county, throughout the country, to see what's working best for them and what type of models could we implement at the animal shelter in Burlington County. So there is an equation. There's this is no particular order, but these are all the things that we felt were important in putting into the equation of how to reduce the euthanasia rates at the shelter. So that really goes in partnership with the rescue groups. That's so important. Rescues that want to come in and rescue the dog or the cat from the shelter. Putting animals in foster care is so important in actually reducing our rates as well. And there's lots of giving people out there who want to foster a pet, and the statistics do show that a lot of times those fostered animals never actually return to the shelter. There's also the comprehensive adoption programs, which we run throughout the year, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. There's the type of pets for vets, which is no cost to military, pets for seniors, which is no cost for senior citizens, and that's been successful. Pet retention, meaning if somebody wants to come in and actually surrender their pet, we would speak to them in many ways and try and convince them if they could actually perhaps keep their pet, that would be as well. Medical and behavioral programs, looking at animals that perhaps have behavior issues, and medical, public relations and community development. Once again, we're partnering with community groups to make that possible, whether it be through them putting videos of pet on YouTube, on their Facebook page, and collaborating with the county on their Facebook page as well to try and market the pet to find them a new home. And volunteers, we couldn't be successful as who we are today without the volunteers, and that's supposed to be every volunteer. We have over 100 volunteers at any given time signed up with the Friends of the Animal Shelter or the Burlington County Animal Alliance. Proactive redemption, and then those top 8 are all things that we're working well right now. And the last 2, which is trap, neuter, release, and high volume, low cost spay neuter, those are things that we hope to work for in the future. So as you can see, I'm briefly telling you about the task force success. It has gone well. Basically, the shelter is currently no pill for dogs, so that means that less than 6% of the dogs that are at the shelter is wonderful. It's nice to know that all those animals are actually able to find a home. And we've seen a dramatic decrease in euthanasia rates in reference to since the origin of this task force in the last 2012 and 2013. As a matter of fact, we've seen a 27% decrease in our rates there. And we really feel like a lot of the progress has been spurred, whether it be by the adoption, by the reduced adoption fees, and some of the new program initiatives. And then I'd like to take the opportunity to tell you briefly, I mean, one of the best things that came out of this is that we're working closely with the county clerk's office and now bringing pets to the county corner store and trying to get people that ordinarily maybe wouldn't come to West Hampton to let them know. We were very successful over the summer with participating in the Trenton Thunder Dog Days, where we actually had people with a dog go to a Trenton Thunder. It was those types of collaborations with community groups and thinking a little bit outside the box that we felt has continued to help our adoption rates. PetSmart is, we are working with particularly PetSmart in Mount Laurel, and that's again the volunteer group is bringing cats to PetSmart almost every Saturday, and let the local Tractor Supply, Feline Frenzy, and the Dog and Cat Days of Summer were things that were programs that were operated that actually reduced the cost of the adoptions. Actually, the Dog and Cat Days of Summer, there's a significant reduction in that in the cost. The Friends of the Animal Shelter actually, throughout the year this past year, started offsetting the cost of adoptions, meaning that you would perhaps pay $10 for a pet during a specific time frame, and then they would actually pay the difference to the animal shelter to help get them adopted. We found it to be very helpful. So those are some of the initiatives that we've been successful in. The animal shelter recently started to be open 7 days a week. We're trying to make ourselves available to the times that you as the public are available, also try and match a pet with an owner. So we're hoping that that works out well. We started opening on Columbus Day weekend, and that has been very exciting. And we're open on Thursday evening, so now the animal shelter is open 7 days a week. So that's a brief overview. I know that the freeholders have a lengthy agenda, so I thank you so much and all the freeholders for their support in this initiative.
Any questions? Periodically, I should have mentioned this earlier, from time to time, the initiative we developed this year was try and get folks to know a little bit more about what the county government does. So a few times a year, which is probably two this evening, we have some various county departments go up and talk about their operations and what exactly takes place in their departments to make it more visible to folks, because you hear some of these department names and I don't think many folks would realize how many different functions fall under the Department of Health in the county. So that's why we do it. Eve, thank you.
Thank you. And I look forward to coming back in the future and having more time to speak about other departments.
Thank you. At this time, I will open the meeting to the public for comment on agenda items. There will be another opportunity to speak at the end of the meeting for those items not related to the agenda. I have a list here from which I will work. If you don't want to speak now, I want to defer later, that's also fine. Mayor Malone?
Yeah, I just want to thank all of you for coming. It's a pleasure to have you here. And you have done a fantastic job in supporting the entire northern part of the county. I just want to congratulate all of you. And I think Ziggy will mention to you maybe a little later about the big event we're having in Burlington County on Thanksgiving weekend. And as I mentioned to you earlier, we have little gifts for you in the back. You just do that, and then I'll sit down. We have toy soldiers for each of you that are summer work kits put together this summer. Fantastic summer work program, and we'd like each of you to take one with you and enjoy it during the holiday season. Again, thank all of you for everything you do.
Thank you very much. rights the way I do. I have the organization municipality listed as college. I cannot read the first or last name. Would anyone agree with college? Moving on. Walter Cura. Walter, K-O-R-A-H. Down Township.
The Walter Coastal, but that's not good.
Maybe that's with Walter Kosel?
Yes, Steve.
Yes, sir.
How was all the list?
Well, I don't know that it's your name or not. I'm having a tough time reading apparently. Okay. Marilyn Holden? I feel lucky now.
Yeah, I have a problem from Burlington Township, but I think it's not on the agenda. Would it be for public
At the end.
speaking later?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Schick?
Later on.
Okay. Bob Smythe?
Not agenda.
Anyone else wishing to speak on any item on the agenda? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mary Ann Reinhardt, Chemung Township, New Jersey. Item 9 on the agenda, the Investors Bank. Is that replacing Susquehanna Bank?
Not necessarily. Actually, yes, it is. Mr. Troy?
Yes, it is. It's replacing Churchill to be a new bank as of January 1.
And how many banks did you interview to do the banking services for the county? And did they all do their due diligence?
Yes, we did do an RFP that was open. 4 banks responded.
Could you tell me who they are?
I can. They were TD Bank, Bank of America, Susquehanna, and Investors.
And number 22 is the Homeland Security Grant Funding, $100,000. Is that specifically earmarked for hazmat?
It is going to fund certain salaries for emergency response and purchase of.
I can't hear you.
It is going to fund certain salaries in the Office of Emergency Management, and it is also going to fund the purchase of equipment for municipalities and the county.
Okay, now these salaries, are they positions that have already been created, or are you going to create
No,
positions
they
with these
fund-
monies?
These funds fund already created positions within the Office of Emergency Management.
Okay, and that allocation is allowed to pay for salaries that are already established?
Certain salaries within the Office of Emergency Management are grant funded.
Okay.
If not,
Number 28, the traffic signals, what locations and how many videos?
That's just a normal thing that we put out every year to take care of all the traffic signals and all the videos and all the municipalities that we have in Burlington County.
Inconsistent. Okay, number 29, the Second Amendment with Kleinfelder, the amount increase is $157,940.
It's not an increase, it's the amount.
Oh, that is the amount. It says Second Amendment. So are you amending an amount, or is that the total amount of the original?
Correct.
Correct what?
It's an increase, but it's an additional scope of work, so it's not, it's in addition to what we had done before.
Okay.
The first amendment was relative to the county has several sites that were recognized as having environmental concerns. We engaged, because of some regulatory hammers, we engaged Kleinfelder, who was doing the 9 Maple Garage, and already on the ground to do the first round which was the First Amendment, to bring us into compliance with the local public, the licensed, let me get this acronym correct, licensed remediational professional, and they provided that service and eliminated several of the sites. This is the second round. We have a May 2014 compliance date, which is the reason to go ahead and my recommendation to proceed with them, because they're already on the ground, they're already familiar with the 10 sites.
Director, I have like 3 more that I would like to address, and if you give me the answers after I ask the questions, because that eats into my 5 minutes time, thank you.
Fair.
Number 35, is this a replacement trailer or is this a new trailer? Number 36, does that include 49 Rancocas Road? And number 37, Second Amendment to, and then I wanted to know what the original amount was. and then amount of the original quote for the change order on number 38, and that's for Latimer. Thank you.
35 is a new trailer. That's what we use to transport our heavy equipment, excavators and whatnot around the county. The air conditioning refrigeration, that contract is basically for all the buildings that are serviced by Buildings and Grounds.
Ron?
I heard this question about the number 37, which is the original contract amount was 166, 166,000. I'm sorry. Originally it was awarded in October of 2007. And this is an increase to 174.5. I did not hear the question on number 38.
What was the original, what was the original cost of the bid, and was this the $43,000 decrease?
The original contract amount was 1.454, and it was decreased to 1.410. It's a $43,000 decrease to the original contract amount, or about 3%.
Thank you.
Any further public comment on agenda items? Seeing none, I'll close this portion of the meeting to the public, and I will move the unanimous consent of resolution items numbers 1 through 20. Second. Moved by Freeholder Donnelly, second by Freeholder Howard. Any discussion?
Yes. I would like to remove numbers 1 and 10 out of the section.
One second. Moved by Freeholder Belvoir, second by Freeholder Howard. Any discussion? This is on removing numbers 1 through 10. Hearing none, all in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Objection? Numbers 1 and 10 are removed. Freeholder Belvoir, it's time to move.
Thank you. Mr. Troy, what for you?
Right here.
Okay, on the bill list, I have a couple of questions, not too many. On the first page, there's an entry there for ACT Engineers, $21,178,000. Can you tell me what that is?
I can, Freeholder. That is a design for Arnie's Mount Trail out of Open Space Store, Mary Pat.
All right, page 51, Mazer Consulting, $11,700. I think that was for lead paint testing. I don't know how much lead paint testing costs. That seems like a lot of lead paint to be tested. I don't know. So can you tell me can you give me more details on that?
All I have is the same as a Building and Grounds.
Mosquito Commission, we received a complaint about possible lead contamination at the Mosquito Commission building. We use Mazer to go in and test it, as well as give us recommendations for remediation.
Was there a problem with it? I mean, was it?
Yeah, there was lead present, yeah.
All right. Page 66. Remington and Burdick, the $5,592 entry to said professional services. Do you have any more details on that?
I do. This is engineering. This is a bridge design on D 4.47 Southampton replacement.
Church Road Bridge. We're currently under construction, and this is construction-related services.
Great, thank you. Page 75, T&M Associates. There's a total of $31,148. Can you tell me what those entries are for?
Yes, I can, Freeholder. The top one for $16,000 is engineering services for Burlington Road intersection improvements, and the $15,000 is for engineering for roof replacement at the human services.
I'm almost done. Page 75, the Taylor Design Group. There's an entry there for $19,106. Can you tell me what that is for?
The Taylor Design Group, this is resource conservation. Mary Pat, is this the?
That is for the design of the Concora Trail. That's the project that we're working on that was funded through the $50,000 DVRPC grant.
Okay, great, thank you. And then finally, on page 76, Taylor, Wiseman and Taylor, there's an entry there for $30,206 for professional services. Can you tell me what that's for?
Yes, Freeholder, Ken, this is for Hanover Street Bridge repair.
Those are all the questions I have on item number 1.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so, I guess am I directing these two as well? Okay.
So with regard to the second bid for lead agency and co-op members, so why do we have, it looks like we're accepting both of these, both HD Supply Waterworks and Kennedy Culvert and Supply. But the Kennedy Culvert and Supply didn't seem to provide everything that we asked for, so I was a little confused about that.
Freeholder, the reason for that is that they are different pipes.
Okay.
The one for Waterworks was for 54-inch pipe, and the other one was for 42 and 48-inch pipe.
Okay. And so, the other thing I was a little bit confused about is the Kennedy number is $139,750, so higher than the HD Supply, which is $122,400. But the actual unit prices for the higher one are less. So is it just that we're purchasing more units?
Probably the quantity.
Okay. Well, now that I know that they're different sizes, that makes sense. Okay. And then the fourth one with linens and other textiles. These are, it looks like we're awarding to companies that are New York, Tennessee, and Alabama. Did we not receive any from New Jersey?
We did not receive anything from New Jersey.
Did we
Yes.
seek any in New Jersey?
Well, these are textiles, so basically it's, companies down south, this is for blankets and mattresses and those type of things.
Okay. That's all I have.
Anything further on number one? Hearing nothing, all in favor of number one and 10, so indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstentions? For the balance of the resolutions that I moved earlier, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Resolutions are adopted. Order.
At this time, I move the unanimous adoption of resolutions numbers 21 through 26.
Thank you. For a second? Moved by Freeholder Arter, second by Freeholder Schwartz. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, so indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstentions? Resolutions are adopted. Favorite house.
Thank you, Director. At this time, I'd like to move for unanimous consent items, resolutions 27 through 38.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Howard, second by Freeholder Arter. Any discussion?
Yes. I actually just have, I just need a clarification on number 34.
Yes.
So, I just want to make sure that, I was a little confused by the language of this, that the property owner has actually agreed to the easement in exchange for $4,200. We're not actually, there's not actually a need for eminent domain there.
Chief?
Excuse me, take a look at the resolution, I believe that was agreed to.
Yeah, I mean, so just
I think
to make it easy,
the-
Pete, I'll just
the
tell you
property
that.
alternative,
Because I read the resolution and it looks like the property owners
yes,
agreed,
yeah,
but,
it recites whereas they have agreed to sell an easement needed for the town of Burlington. Funds are available. Yes, this is an acquisition,
okay, just because on the agenda it says or proceed with eminent domain, but I just wanted to make sure that it's really just being,
It's by consent.
Okay, great, thank you. That's all.
Anything further on those resolutions? Hearing none, all in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Resolutions are adopted. Freeholder Schwartz.
This time I'd like to move for unanimous consent for resolution number 39.
Thank you. Is there a second? Moved by Freeholder Schwartz, second by Freeholder Howard. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Resolutions are adopted. Questions from the press?
Nothing tonight, thank
Thank you, Danielle. At this time, we'll open the meeting to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on just about any topic, may come forward to the podium, state your name and address. Let me go back to my list first. Bear with me, please. Lauren.
I wouldn't put on a agenda just for debate, I'm not sure. Question I have though, I went to welcome you, I'm from Walco's of Bordentown Township. So I'm gonna welcome you to the greater Bordentown area, not just Bordentown City, that's all I heard tonight. We have a mayor there too, get paid. understand, Greater Boardtown to me is Boardtown City, Boardtown Township, and Field Drive. And even the comments from the college, honestly, I go to Mercer, because it is cheap. Gas-wise and everything else. I guess you realize being in the county, you're probably the largest land county in New Jersey. And we're up to the most northern end. Matter of fact, I'm just walking distance to Hamilton Mercer. And we go there all the time. I guess my question is, or comment is, when are you gonna bring some extensions up here? The health department, with the dogs and cats. We don't have nothing up here. We have to go to the middle of the county. Price of gas the last few years cost a lot. So we'd like to see more of Burlington County coming up this end, an extension of Burlington County, I guess, for Greater Boardtown area. Is there any comments on that to maybe extend yourself up here? I know it costs money on your end, but it costs us money
Sure.
when we pay the tax bill.
Sure, the first comment I guess I would make is that we operate the county college in Willingboro also, which is about 15 minutes away from here. The amount of equal
I used to work 15 minutes away from here.
Yeah, equal distance from here to Mercer County, actually probably quicker to there than the Mercer County College's main campus. So, I mean, we do have facilities spread throughout the county. We could do some type of event with the animal shelter here, but really we need to keep the county government centrally located in, Mount Holly, West Hampton area, just because of trying to reduce redundancy of personnel, redundancy of services. But there's nothing to say we couldn't come up here and do an event with our animal shelter.
Well, it'd be nice to know Burlington County a little better up here. Because honestly, I don't know what I look at the planet, so he's another one up here in this end too, but that's all we know, and it's Mercer County, which most times is what we do with the animal shelter, for example. I know one thing that I did hear mention was runaway pets. There is a tag for runaway pets that can be done. Most towns, I don't know if any of them are in it, could the county reimburse the towns on that? I think it runs around $10 extra. When they get a license, they can tag a pet, a pet so they can ID it, so you have a lot of runaways, which would cut down her problem. Of course, when I say county mandate, it would be county payment. So that's everything I have. Other than that, that's all I have to say, other than welcome to the Greater Boardtown area.
Thank you. Marilyn.
Marilyn Holden from Burlington Township. It was suggested that I come to the county. I don't know whether you have somebody sub that I could speak with after the meeting. We have a very, very dangerous situation created in Burlington Township with the realignment of Burlington Mount Holly Road, Route 541. I've been to Township Council. I've been to the senior citizens meeting. Have spoken with Walt Porter. I know him for many years. For Mr. Shoppis, I think he has already contacted Burlington County on the problems there. There's two main problems. 5 points where when you come up to the light to 5 points from Burlington City, High Street, the shoulder of the road, the right shoulder of the road is so wide, it's a lane. Okay, you go through the light now, and it's one lane, it used to be 2 lanes. What is happening, cars are coming up, it's 35 miles an hour there. They're coming up the shoulder of the road there. Cars in the 1 lane now that want to get onto Springside Rancocas Road have their blinkers on to make the slight right turn to get on Springside Rancocas Road. These cars are coming up there, going through technically that light, whether it be red or green, it doesn't matter. And they're going up onto Springside Rancocas Road, up to the Endeavor Emergency Squad, which is Chapel Avenue. Some of them are making their left-hand turns there and getting out onto Burlington Mount Holly Road. Okay, these cars are going at 35 miles an hour. It doesn't matter whether it's certain times during the day or the evening. That's one problem there. They're totally disregarding car stop there if it's a red light and have their blinkers on to go. We never had to put blinkers on before when we came up there to go onto Springside Rancocas Road. The other problem is you made the left-hand turn into, for Fountain Avenue. Okay, by Rita's Water Ice, it ends where you have the right and left center lane. You have the yellow stripes going there, okay? Cars are ignoring them. I've noticed it mostly in the evening when there's not as much traffic. And they're using that left-hand turn only to go straight ahead, as if there were two lanes. There's only one lane now going there. So that's a big problem too. The problem before you get to the light on 541 and that shoulder of the road, it's very, very wide. It's narrow in the city, but it's wide in township. If it were painted with the white striped lines, that should alleviate it. But you're taking away the parking for the homes that are along there, if they want to park on High Street. That's it's very, very dangerous. The other problem is up where the Kmart shopping center is being developed. Chick-fil-A is coming along fine now, ShopRite is going in there. You have the light at, what is it, Kmart Drive, I guess they call it, coming towards Burlington, in front of the Kmart shopping center. The county put a line that the road was going to narrow there, okay? But the cars, it's 45 miles an hour there. These cars, if it's a green light, they're coming in, because it's two lanes up to the light, and then it's one lane. As soon as you go through the light, there's less than 100 feet there for those cars that are going 45 miles an hour to get into the one lane. Now, I was coming home from Acme earlier, late afternoon today, and was almost broadsided again. It's happened so many times there. It's less than 100 feet when you go right through the light, and that's where the sign is, posted to the post after you go through the light. They have less than 100 feet to come into that left lane. We have no place to go, and these cars, if it's a green light, they're going 45 miles an hour. If it's a red light, you're starting off even, the two lanes right before the light. That's a big problem, and I think that's already been addressed with the county. But I would like some answers.
And I'd like you to talk after the meeting with Mr. Stand-up, Mr. Brinkley. He's hard to miss. He's the county engineer. He's the one responsible for the 521 from the county's perspective. Now, some of the things we've also spoken about from my perspective are enforcement issues also. We talked about speed a couple of times, and people using a left turn only lane, so through lane. That's a local enforcement issue. You know, well, it is. I mean,
well, they're putting it back on the county, so.
Well, and we work
with these new
collaboratively
problems,
with the county.
with the new problems.
Yeah, I'd ask you to speak to Mr. Brinkley after the meeting, and we will get, I can't say that all of your problems will be satisfied, because I don't know that the meets and bounds and everything that you say is completely accurate or not. I don't know sitting here, but.
Township knows already.
Understood,
You know.
but now Mr. Brinkley needs to know, and he will work to resolve the situation as best we can.
Another thing that was created, where you have the center lanes now, and you do have, where it cuts out, where you can turn either way if you're in that center lane, but if you're coming into Shannon Estates there, you made the left-hand turn there. There's a couple places that it's been done there now, reconfiguration. And that's good, because that's the way that I get to Sylvan Lakes, that way or on Dresser Avenue. But a lot of people, and I've heard so many senior citizens already, where you have this long length of either turning right or left for the people to get into their, driveways on either side of the road, depending on which direction they're going. Cars are using that as a lane. They're not going to turn left to go into a driveway. They're using it as a lane. They're actually starting to do that now in the township part of Burlington City. They totally disregard those yellow lines that are going across or white lines that are in front of Rita water ice.
Right.
They're just using it.
Right, I'll ask you to speak, Mr. Burlington.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Schiff?
Danny Schick, New Jersey, FLP Labor Council, senior field rep, representing the Sheriff's Department 166. First off, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Director, and the rest of the Freeholder members for signing the contract, the award that Mr. Mastrani had recently issued. I also would like to thank you for reaching an agreement for basically putting the appeal of Susan Osborne's decision on hold pending contract negotiations. I spoke at the beginning to Mr. Warnickel, and we're going to talk tomorrow about setting up dates to start contract negotiations for a successor agreement. But I quite often here to criticize you, but this time I want to thank all of you for following through on your word not to hold up the contract.
Well, no, we wouldn't have done that, and to be clear, that was a collaborative effort on the outdoor decision.
Yes.
All head for valid is in play. Let's sit down and negotiate this out. So, I'm happy to, I don't know where you're going with this, but yeah, let's take some dates for it.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bob Smythe.
Thank you for the opportunity to address the board tonight. I want to talk about the performance of the board a little bit. I am the former council president from the borough of Riverton, Joe Donnelly was once the council president there, and I'm a veteran too. I wrote that up. First, I want to thank the board for their performance last year, the budget and everything else that was done. And in particular, I want to commend the Freeholder director, Joe Donnelly, for his leadership of the board in several areas. Cutting taxes, reducing taxes, which we all needed at our municipal level. Reducing costs, the economic initiatives, some of which you mentioned. I'm on the River Route Advisory Committee too, and we really like the Buy Burlington County initiative. Also, the open space grants. Riverton has received a number of them, and I know many of the other 40 towns have also, and we really appreciate that. Also, with all of this taking place, with lower taxes, reduced costs, all this, the services, I get around Burlington County quite a bit on Veterans Outreach, and the services that have been provided by the county are still excellent. I don't see any reduction. Another item I wanted to mention, as I said, I'm a veteran, and Freeholder Donnelly is responsible for military and veterans affairs. The services that are provided by the county, and there's committees associated with that. And I want to personally thank you for the work that you do for military and veterans and your support. Also, I really like what Burlington County College is doing as far as military and veterans programs also. So again, thank you, Joe, for your leadership. Thank you all for what you have done.
I have no one further on the list. So any further public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Can I speak from here? I think you can hear me from here, right? Okay, thank you. I have a couple questions, and then I have a couple proposals this evening, and I'll be brief. I'll go back to the Farmland, Open Space, and Historic Preservation Trust of the county. And it's those three titles: Farmland Preservation, Open Space, and Historic Preservation. When the county amended the county trust to include local open space, that was a proposal that I put forth when I was a freeholder. And I have begged this board and previous boards to include historic preservation. In these areas of the Bordentown area and Bordentown City, it is steeped in history. As a matter of fact, throughout the county. And once again, I am asking you to go back to the drawing board and reconsider historic preservation in these towns. To date, I believe it's $20 million that we have given to local programs for recreation. And I truly believe that the youth of today they need to be diversified, and they need to be involved in other things other than just sports. And we're engaging young people to become involved in our historic societies. And I am putting that back to the board once again this evening. Thank you for the consideration. Also, security. In today's world, that is like the buzzword, security. And I truly believe that all workers, visitors, in all of the county offices should feel secure. And I know the county is doing something with 49 Rancocas Road, which is an exorbitant amount, but that was tied into a contract to fix bathrooms and all that kinds of good stuff. Not for security, but just for cosmetic. But I also believe, and I put it to the board before, is the Human Services main entrance. And that is an area that really needs to be looked at again, and a high consideration for this board, because now when you go into that building, it's just people walk straight through. There are so many different kinds of agencies and so many people that have major problems. And you know, in today's society, there's a lot that has to do with people that are stressed, mental illness, which is now getting recognized and getting attention, and that should be a very secure door. So I'd ask you to go back to the drawing board once again on that and look at that and put that as a priority. Also, as if you don't know, you will know, it's rut season for the deer. The deer are running wild. I hit a deer on Route 70 head on last night, and again, proposed to the board, there is a system out there that you can look into, and they use it out at the base to cut down on the deer kill out there, especially if you could do it on county and state roads. I believe Isham the other day had 20 deer, dead deer, by auto on a truck. Last night, going back the other way, another person hit a deer. They had to close down that lane on Route 70. So again, it's a very dangerous situation. AAA has said the rate of increase of deer kill and the expense to the automobiles being totally ruined, it drives our insurance. And I think if we look at these kinds of fixes, it'll go across the board and save everybody. Also, Buttonwood Hospital. I know that decision was made. I voted against it. And the reason I voted against it is because it was the ideal place to add for the homeless, for the veterans, because that top floor was totally renovated. It met all the demands, and it was decided by the county to shut down Buttonwood. And what's more sad is the nurses' quarters, which is a historic property right in front of Buttonwood Hospital. And we have done nothing with that. As a matter of fact, I believe a month or so ago, you approved to have it torn down. And it's got a lot of history there, and then you also have the cemetery back there on that property. So if you could just go back and look at these things when you're making these kinds of decisions. That could have been a property, and it could have had a community center for the veterans, the retired veterans, or those veterans who are homeless, and we could have used the nurses' quarters, and you know that. I believe that with every project that you proceed with here on out, that you listen to each other and to the public, because I believe that you would come out far ahead with satisfying everybody involved. Also, this gentleman spoke about Director Donnelly being overseeing the veterans. I had asked, when I was on board, I asked again last year, that the county name a veterans highway. And it seems like it just fell off the shelf. And I believe that we should recognize them every day. These signs should be visible. We have enough major county roads that people travel every single day that they could see these signs and just once again, if not think of the honor of the people, you're thinking of the people that sacrificed for our country. Don't just have these little get-togethers and rah-rahs for these veterans. Do meaningful things. And that's what I would like to ask this board to do this evening. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any further public comment? Yes, sir.
Zig Targonski, City Commissioner of Burlington. I have something very simple and enjoyable and not controversial, I think. Mayor Malone and I have for a long time talked about the train show here in Burlington. 4 years ago we started. This is our 4th year. I'd like to invite everybody to Old City Hall Friday, Saturday, and Sunday after Thanksgiving, and every weekend through the first of the year. It's free, too. It doesn't cost anything. Bring your nieces, nephews, children, grandchildren. You won't be disappointed if you are at all interested in trains. I'll have 10 active loops going myself. My wife has a salute to Seaside that she's been previously working on for about a year now. And of course, Joe has his father's collection in operating. Also, while I'm up, I'd like to acknowledge to you Jill Popko and Mr. Moynihan, Township Committee people who are in attendance tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's free.
Any further public comment? Yes, sir.
Real quick, Richard Douglas, 66 Marin Street, Montana, New Jersey. I want to thank the board for doing the road shows. As a resident of the northern part of Burlington County, sometimes getting to central southern Burlington is difficult. I understand it's an inconvenience on your time, and also your staff's time to come out here and do this. My only request on this would be to come up with some sort of sign that says where the building is.
Yeah.
It's getting a little hard for those of us not from the towns to find these buildings.
That's a valid
It's become a game.
I am by that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further public comment?
Jill Popko, Deputy Mayor, Bordentown Township. Thank you all for coming here this evening. Thank you, Ziggy, for mentioning it. I would just like to address Walt's commentary. First of all, he's absolutely right. Getting some satellites up here, whether it's the health department, anything that would make us be a part of the county would really make a huge difference. Also, I just want Walt to know, and maybe the freeholders, if you weren't aware, the Burlington County College does have an annex here, and it's at our high school. Bordentown Regional High School has night classes for the college. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further public comment? Hearing none, I'm going to close this portion of the meeting. This time we'll move on to Freeholder comments. Freeholder Schwartz.
Yes, our last meeting, I mentioned, regards to the local flowers, behavioral, it's like a number of houses throughout the county. This was anti-African American literature put out by a local, and then the impact on the county, once press. And I suggested at that time that we
for hosting us this evening and for all the staff from the county who make this possible, because I really do think it's important that we go on the road and visit our neighboring towns. This, as was mentioned tonight, it's the biggest county geographically speaking, so it really is important to get out and be able to engage with the public on a periodic basis. So I just want to mention, well, thank you to the Burlington County College for the great presentation tonight as well. I did talk to, because I've had a number of people ask me about the status of the appointment to the new board member for the PCC, and so I talked to both Paul and Charlene tonight. They're going to get back to me on that. So for those people that were questioning about it, I just wanted to put that out there. Congratulations and thank you to the Burlington County Military Affairs Committee for a great event this weekend out at the fairgrounds. I really enjoyed participating in it, and I know Leah did as well, the Freedom Run, which was just a really nice event through the fairgrounds for such a great cause, as I managed to drag my 11-year-old to the 5K run. And then thank you to everyone who participated today in Denim Day and wearing pink. It was really sort of odd for me to leave the house and feel professional wearing jeans today, but it's just such an important cause. I know I mentioned it at our last meeting. I lost my mother after a 21-year battle to breast cancer. She wasn't supposed to originally survive more than a year. So it's a cause that's really close to my heart, and I think it's so important for the awareness, but also for all that we're doing in the fight against cancer. And in that regard, the American Cancer Society is holding its Making Strides Against Breast Cancer this Sunday. Registration begins at 8:30 at Cooper River Park. There's no cost to actually be in the walk if you want to participate, and it kicks off with a survivor's lap at 9:40 a.m. And then finally, I will just leave with this, as liaison to elections, thanks to everybody who came out and voted, and all the members of the County Board of Elections and the clerk's office and everyone else who worked so hard on our elections, especially with the special election this year. And I would just like to remind everyone to vote on November 5th. That's all I have.
Thank you. Julie.
Thank you, Richard. I wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Mayor, thanks for having us. Thanks for everybody coming. I just wanted to mention, we all got involved in Denim Day, wearing pink, supporting a great worthy cause.
Not all of us.
Only the guys that really know what's going on. This coming year, 232,000 new cases of breast cancer will be diagnosed. We'll lose another 40,000. That's astronomical. And it's about prevention, it's about intervention, it's about early detection. 67% of women 40 and up received mammograms over the last 2 years. What I found astounding is that number has not really increased since 2002. So there's something that's got to be done to make more people aware that they need to do this. Now, if we could get that up to 90% of women 40 and above, that would save another 3,700 lives a year. And I think everybody that wore denim today, and some of us that wore pink, I think that we need to continue to educate the people in our communities, talk to people in the health field, to really make it hit home. One of my wife's colleagues was just diagnosed a couple of weeks ago, and it was just a matter of factly sitting at home watching the TV, and a commercial came on that she did a quick check and found a lump, and then went and then was diagnosed. But how many of us need to have to be watching a commercial? I mean, it should be ingrained in the population now that it's just second nature. It's something that should be going through, and as moms and dads talking to our kids, that should be paramount to get that to get them to realize that they need to do it. And you know what? A lot of people continue, and then all of a sudden there'll be a letdown for the walls. You know what? Let's just keep this up. Let's keep doing what we're doing as much as we can, so that we can, make this thing go away.
Thank you, Freeholder Director, and thank you to Burlington City for hosting us this evening and making your space available to us. We appreciate that greatly. Thank you to our staff for moving the show on the road and doing such a good job and making it go so seamlessly. And also, Burlington City, this is the second time, I believe, in the last 3 months I've been here. I was here, you generously host our Office on Aging congregate Meals on Wheels, and I was here for the luau a few months back, and it had a whole other feel in here. We had limbo contests going on. We had a little tiki bar over there in the corner, and you have residents from around the area, from as far south as Beverly and to as far north as Burlington City. We're here and enjoying themselves, and that was a great experience, and it's something you do on a regular basis. And once a year, you have the luau party, and I know you have soldiers here.
I'm going to interrupt.
I'll go
Let me
ahead.
just thank you, because the nutrition center that's here 4 days a week for the seniors in the northern part of the county has been tremendous. And Cynthia, who runs the program up here, has been absolutely dynamic in keeping tabs on seniors and working with seniors. They go out, do a lot of special things for them. And that is an essential program for the seniors in the northern part of the county. So I want to thank you for continuing here. It's been, I think, a godsend for medicine.
And I met Cynthia, and she is not a woman you say no to. And it was great to see. They run. It was entertaining. It was a great time, and they're doing great work here. And they have soldiers come out from the base once a year and serve the hot meals. It's just a lot of. It's a very great program, and we're just pleased to be a part of it. And I was pleased to come here and be a part of it as well. So thank you for that as well. And as Freeholder Belgard said, we participated. Some freeholders watched us run. And
We needed a cheerleader.
And some freeholders ran in the armed forces run, and it was a great day to be out with members of our joint base community and members of Burlington County community and running together for BMAC, which is a very good cause in Burlington County to provide services for servicemen and veterans in the community. And segueing to Veterans Day is November 11th, and our military affairs department gives out Burlington County service medals in a service which will be held on the 14th of November. So if you know of someone who has served in the past and has not been a recipient of this Burlington County service medal, please get their name to Walt Tate and his staff in our military affairs office, because not only are we able to recognize them for their service, but we're able to acquaint them with the numerous programs and offerings we have to people who have served our country. So that was on, I believe, the morning of November the 14th at the Human Services Building. And then, and just two small points. One, I do believe the Joint Base JBMDL is working for sometime in the future to have a visitors / kind of museum visitor center veterans location outside of the base that's open to all members of the public and former service members to come there, and we at Burlington County and BMAC are well aware of this and are working together to help them fulfill that goal. And then also to Joanne, good luck in forming this, and I hope you reach out to Anna in Human Resources, because we have the new community outreach coordinator, Zahira Sabir, and her job description is very much in line with the Human Rights Commission you want to start. Do hand-in-hand work together and be able to work with the community organizations we have in Zahira, and work together and be able to even have a greater impact on our community.
Thank you.
Yes, so thank you all again for coming out and making this a great pleasure to be here, and thank you for hosting us again. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not one that's enamored with the sound of my own voice, so I'm typically very brief. You have to be, not to apply to my colleagues. However. No, first and most importantly, Dawood Hampton from Burlington Regional High School. Thank you for being here tonight, being our greeter, making sure folks got signed in. We appreciate your efforts. solved. I can't guarantee we'll get it all solved. With that, on the denim day note, I just want to say, the county staff, first of all, thanks to the staff. It's difficult to move this machine out of Mount Holly. It really is. It takes a lot of effort. So you folks do a remarkable job, and thank you once again for putting up with the machinations of the board and moving up to Bordentown City. But denim day, the staff for $5 was allowed to come to work today. I was told a little earlier, the early count was $1,500, was raised for the American Cancer Society by the efforts of this. So I'm pretty proud that our staff really embraced the program of this denim day. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Freeholder Harder, seconded by Freeholder Howard. All in favor, so indicate by saying aye. Aye.